Maybe I'm just nostalgic, or maybe it's truly magical. Oh, when I see that castle, the feeling is truly magical. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic. Maybe I'm just nostalgic. Maybe it's truly magic.
This is Andrew.
And this is Brooke.
And you're listening to the DisNeato podcast.
This week, we are going to be talking about a topic submitted by one of you. So, producer Matt, go ahead and kick this off with that email we got.
This email is from Jenny. She says, "Hello, DisNeatoids. First time, long time. As a lifelong Disney fan, one of the most fun things to emerge has been the Pixar shared universe theory. Would you explore this theory and any other ones that you know of within Disney lore?"
Yeah, so first off, thank you, Jenny, for the email and for inquiring. We decided to kind of focus just on kind of the Pixar theory for this one, considering how many kind of theories and craziness there is within Disney itself.
There's a lot of craziness with these theories. I think there's some fun ones we can kind of talk about after the Pixar one, but I think Pixar is probably the most intricate.
Yeah, Pixar, starting the research, because I've heard things here or there about it, but then actually starting to do some research and Googling, the whole Pixar theory, when starting to research that, I was kind of surprised with how much content there was, like Wikipedia pages, numerous articles, blogs, YouTube.
So the Pixar theory essentially states that all of the Pixar movies are connected, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so, as a disclaimer, Andrew was researching this theory. I was researching a couple others, and I think this one has the most merit to it. So you're actually going to be kind of walking me through it. Not for the first time, but more in depth than I got myself. But what's interesting to me is that there's a PixarTheory.com. It has its own website.
Literally PixarTheory.com, guys. Check it out.
So take us through.
So there's several different Pixar movies that we know of. We all know they're there. And they've come out over the last 20-ish years. According to the Pixar theory, though, the order in which they came out is not the chronological order in which the events happened in time. And how they start this is actually in the 14th and 15th century, starting with the movie Brave. And the idea there is that the magic turns her mother into the bear, and that magic is why animals and inanimate objects, such as the brooms and tools, behave like humans. So magic then being utilized by a witch who mysteriously vanishes through the wooden doors. Eventually, that magic from the will of the wisps would lead to a birth of superheroes. So
essentially, they're saying like this magic is introduced into the world and affects essentially everything from there forward and is never really, contained.
Yes, that magic kind of just poofed into the world, and that energy kind of just traveled and dissipated.
Everything is affected.
Yes.
From turning a woman into a bear to making a toy come to life.
Boom, and that's where we're moving with this one.
All right, let's go.
So that then takes us to The Incredibles, which came out about 2004. But here, The Incredibles take place in the 1950s through the 60s. So, as we said in Brave, that magic kind of unleashed itself into the world, which is how the supers in The Incredibles get their power that they have.
So that magic gave humans powers. Some humans' powers.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and that power is what allowed the kind of superheroes to maintain order through the world. But then Buddy, in that movie, he wanted to become a superhero himself, but he didn't have superpowers. So he created himself through artificial intelligence, and then also created the zero-point gravity electromagnetic energy that allowed him to create the different machines he did that attacks the superheroes. So this is where the AI and that energy force is now fighting against that magic. Blah, 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 blah.
So I'm looking at this website here, and it says, Buddy's artificial intelligence, through his bots, is a pivotal moment where machines begin eradicating their threats, and in this case, it's the supers.
Yes.
And this is... It says... I'm reading verbatim. Eventually, toys start to absorb and draw their powers from 0-point energy, unseen energy that travels in wavelengths.
Yeah, here's where we start to stretch.
This is a reach already for me.
Now,
Okay.
to be optimistic, right? Let's continue along this journey.
Let's go.
Let's just imagine that these toys do start to absorb some of this energy.
Obviously, the next point in our story, in our theory,
Where do you think we're going?
is Toy Story.
Oh, Toy Story it is.
All right, let's go there.
So, obviously, Toy Story, the toys are alive. And the whole idea here is the energy that was absorbed by these toys is now giving them life. Well, toys need to find a continuous energy source to continue their lives and to be able to talk and do things like humans do, which is where that they find the love that the humans have for them, and that connection provides them with that energy.
So love is an energy source.
Yes, love is the energy source for the toys that originally got it from the energy source from Buddy.
From the robots.
Which actually kind of
from
came
Buddy's
out of hate.
robots. Yeah.
So the balance of love and hate gave toys their energy and life.
All right.
But the isolated toys, as we've seen in the movie, they get sad. And so they are discovering what happens when they're isolated from humans.
A la Sid.
Which, yes, a la Sid. And his toys all in the backyard, all broken and sad. Which then brings us to Toy Story 2.
Oh, they don't just connect them all? Okay, Toy Story 2.
Oh, yeah. Remember, we're in the
I thought Toy
timeline.
Story in general just like encompassed all of them, but
No,
there's a
Toy Story
there's
2, we're
time.
kicking it up.
All right, let's go.
So here, the toys discover how dangerous it is for them to be isolated from humans and from those that love and play with them. So that's, and as you see in that movie, they start to question their purpose because they're just collectibles just sitting on a shelf. And, they're all in their boxes. They're not out living. They're not out enjoying. They're not getting played with. They're miserable.
Yeah.
So that resentment continues to carry through to them and build within the toys.
Okay, so toys are not only like sentient beings now, but they're feeling resentment.
Yes.
So
and think about
what's
Jessie
the significance?
with her owner, that whole song, and
Right.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Even what's his name? The old cowboy. Oh my God, what's his name?
Stinky
and
Pete?
Bullseye. Is that his name?
Stinky Pete.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's resentment there too. You can tell he has a lot of like jealousy and resentment towards toys that are loved and played with.
Mm-hmm.
So how did so where does it go? Let's
Here's
go.
where they kind of confuse me because, again, reading verbatim, resentment towards humans was not only carried by inanimate objects, but by animals as well. I'm not sure where that was tied in so far in this theory, so
Okay.
there's a hole again. But let's continue on, because that's how apparently they're going to link up Finding Nemo. So again, here's where it starts to get a little finicky. They talk about how, with this theory, that the fish in the ocean are incredibly advanced. They have schools, a network, and freeway system. And I just want to pause right here.
Fish swim in schools.
Fish do swim in schools.
That's a pun.
They naturally do have network systems that they travel in for many different reasons. Currents, the food chain, there's a lot involved
Migration
with that.
patterns.
Yes. So I do think that's something we should keep in mind, that one thing that Pixar and Disney has always done is, while they provide a great movie that's fun and entertaining, there is also lessons and little tidbits of facts that kind of stick with you as a kid.
So I have a question. So we're talking about these animals have resentment towards humans. Our example is Finding Nemo. This is next in our timeline. And so it says the animals have resentment because they discover humans are polluting the earth and experimenting on them. And Dory was one of the animals that was experimented on, which is why she is forgetful. Now, this may just be me being ignorant, but I haven't seen Finding Dory. So was she actually experimented on?
No.
No.
Here's the thing.
So how do they make that connection?
They never did this, say in Finding Dory that she was experimented on, so I guess you could still argue that because it wasn't
explicitly said.
Not explicit. But, yeah, no, she was not tortured or tested.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe she was, because it's not explicitly said.
No, I'm going to say bullshit right now, because in Finding Dory, they talk explicitly about how they're there to protect animals and help animals, and where she originally came from was a place to rehabilitate animals of the ocean.
Yeah.
So again, no torturing, nothing dangerous here. So yeah, they talk about the signs of resentment growing towards humans, and then how animals begin to become more curious and act and have more humanistic characteristics.
Which is hilarious, because if they hate humans, why would they develop human characteristics?
Exactly. And to
Also,
be honest,
how is a
humans
fish-
are animals. We're all animals. We all have similar
How is a
characteristics.
fish going to develop human characteristics?
They're not.
Okay, how does this happen? Okay, where do we go from here? We're going from Finding Nemo.
Ratatouille.
We go to because he can cook.
Yes, because a rat can cook.
All right. I'm a rat. I can cook. It can happen.
So, again, this is really a stretch for me, guys. You know, they talk about it being the first time we see personal interaction between humans and animals.
No.
And how, you know, Remy controls Linguini because Linguini does not know how to do anything. And talks about animals controlling humans. So kind of the flip from humans controlling animals to vice versa.
So so I'm reading this as you're going through it, and it says, in Ratatouille, Remy discovers his love for cooking and displays human characteristics. Some of them are walking on his hind paws. And I just want to stop right there, because how many animated characters, not even just Disney, walk
In general.
as bipeds? They walk on
Yeah.
2 legs.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie
Right off the
the
top of my head.
Pooh,
The
Piglet,
whole,
the whole
Tigger
crew.
bounces on his fucking tail. Is that a damn
So-
theory now around that?
I really, really, really want to give this theory like an honest benefit of the doubt try, but I can't.
No, it's too
I
many holes.
really can't do it. It just seems like they are reaching and they are stretching. And, you know, I wish whoever runs this site, I wish we could talk to them. And like, I'd be like, convince me, persuade me that this is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much missing for me. And like, what do you say to this stuff that's missing? How do you get convinced? And obviously people buy into this stuff. And honestly, it's really cool. I love Game of Thrones. I've read all the Song of Ice and Fire books. I love reading fan theories. So like, I get why people get into this stuff. It's awesome. But this just seems so far-fetched.
100%.
But anyway, Remy is controlling Linguini because he can't do anything. Let's go.
But then, you know, Remy's rat family does not like him interacting with Linguini, and they have hate towards humans. Which,
Well,
again,
yeah, because
they're
humans
rats.
kill rats all the
no
time.
Shit. That's what's going to happen.
They should also hate cats, so
Yeah, duh. But we don't talk about that.
nope.
'Cause that's not part of the theory. But we have, you know, the animals and the toys hating humans, blah, 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 which brings us to Toy Story 3. And I will say, you know, they talk about how toys go through a lot in this movie, and they do. It's a very traumatic movie for toys.
It is.
But, again, from my perspective, it's to remind you, like me watching that movie, I thought back to all the toys I had as a kid, and I asked myself as soon as I thought about those toys, whatever happened to those toys? Where'd those toys go? And a lot of them probably did go to the dump, and I think that's, you know, a lot of what they were doing with that movie is kind of making you think about that and reflect on not only what you played with and the toys you had as a kid and growing up to where you are now and losing those and remembering those, but also Disney, Pixar being so environmentally conscious and friendly, it's also making you think about the impact you're making on the environment.
Yeah. I'm eager for you to get to the latter half of this portion of the connection, because
We're almost halfway there.
get there.
So, we have in here about Lotso the Huggin' Bear. He hates humans. They discarded him. They did him wrong. So, he takes care of the toys. He looks out for the toys. Cool. But again, they're saying this is another reason why the machines and objects alike are ready to take over. Because they're joining forces.
This next part is gold. Please read it verbatim.
Ready to this?
Yes.
Carl and Ellie write to Andy telling him to get rid of his toys because they know the animosity between toys and humans coming ahead. And that's why they are planning on living in solitude.
So, first and foremost, Carl and Ellie are from Up. God, this irritates me. If Carl and Ellie know about the upcoming like mutiny of the machines and the toys and the animals, why isn't Up higher in this timeline?
Yeah.
Why aren't they? Because clearly they know something's going down in Up that's going to affect Andy that he needs to get rid of his toys. Which, first of all, he didn't need to get rid of his toys. He was going to college, and his mom was like, donate your toys. And he was like, oh, I want to keep some of them. He wasn't like, I gotta get rid of these. They're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
What? This triggers me really badly because this is a poorly put together timeline, because you can't have two characters from another movie that's later in the timeline writing in the past timeline to another character. So clearly Up needs to be before Toy Story 3 at least.
And here's the thing, and this is where this theory pisses me off even more. Pixar is notorious, one, for putting Easter eggs in movies that remind you of other movies that were done, but two...
Disney in general is great with that.
But Pixar always, always, always puts a little teaser of their next movie in the movie that's coming out. And so that little postcard from Carl and Ellie is one of those little Easter egg teasers for Up that's to come in a couple years.
What if Carl... Well, no, I was going to say what if Carl and Ellie are like his grandparents, but they didn't have a child.
Yeah.
But like maybe an uncle or something. You know what I mean?
It could be.
What if there's where's that theory?
But here's the thing. See how it's making you think like that? Mm-hmm. That's where this theory gets out of whack, because you start thinking that way. But really, you can go to Pixar's website and learn what they do. And that is one of their Easter eggs and foreshadowing a next movie. So that then when you watch
you're like,
Up
oh,
later
there's like
and you
a
come
little
back to
clue
Toy Story 3,
to,
you're like,
this was coming up
holy
next.
shit, there's Up. Yeah.
I can't with this already, but I'm going to try. Let's stomach through, okay, after this one. So Carl and Ellie wrote to Andy.
Yes.
Now we're on Up. Tell me, what's going on?
So here we know Carl has to get rid of his house. Mm-hmm. Corporations, they're dozing it, putting in a bigger building. To foreshadow that the corporation is the cause for polluting the earth and wiping out life in the distant future as a result of technology overreach. Oh, you're picking up on the theme. So they talk about this whole thing and this kind of being the tipping point of the fight between humans and animals, and especially because they talk about the way that the dogs are treated and trained by that Charles dude in the movie. So this is kind of foreshadowing that uprise of animals versus humans.
So first of all, like any halfway intelligent person who enjoys dogs, the dog is going to react exactly how you train it. So if these dogs are being trained to be a certain way, that's how they're going to be.
Yes.
That doesn't mean they hate humans. That's just a result of their upbringing.
And
Doug in the film,
some of them are super lovable.
Is super joyous and lovable. So that seems really far-fetched. Like, you can't just assume these animals had all this hatred, ingrained into their DNA prior to their training. I don't think that's accurate at all. That goes against the nature nurture theory. Like, you could have any dog ever, and generally they're going to be well behaved. Some dogs have issues and they'll snap, but they're not all just bad and hateful. No. So that seems crazy to me.
Well, the other thing too is because they talked about doing some research how they had the collars on them that allowed the dogs to talk and stuff like that, and that being part of that torture of the technology. But really, that was just a creative way, in my opinion, that Pixar allowed the dogs to have a voice without them just being animated characters that spoke.
Yeah.
It was keeping it more realistic.
It didn't break the realism.
Exactly. And it was fun.
It was fun, and I wish my dogs had collars that
allowed
them to speak.
Though, it's foreshadowing to war. Which
to war.
Gets us to Cars, which... keep in mind, Up is to be taking place around 2011 to 2016. Cars then jumping about 100 years to 200 years in the future. So I'm going to have to pause here because,
just read
the whole
it.
Thought.
Read it verbatim.
Okay,
just
here
please.
we go, guys. When animals rose up against the humans to stop the pollution, the machines saved the humans and they won the war. However, since machines helped humans win, it tipped the balance of Earth. Machines had to send the remaining humans off into space in a ship called Axiom. All the other machines were left behind to populate the world and run things.
So I thought a few movies ago in the timeline that the machines and the animals were in this together. Mm-hmm. And now the animals decided to uprise and the machines were like, nah, and shut them down.
Us, yeah.
And then hung out with the humans who they were against. Also, where are the toys in this? What are they doing? What side of the war are they on?
I'm starting to think the dude that created all this is just really afraid of technology. But, here's a big question that we get from this is, how do we know cars took over the Earth and not another planet? Well, we got cars too.
Did they go to Europe and Japan?
Yeah, that's exactly what the reasoning is. And so it's to then show that throughout the whole world there are no humans left. But, again, Pixar created Cars because it was a world of cars. And cars were the people instead of people. That's it. That's it.
Cars is also just one of the more juvenile Pixar films. Like, it really appeals to very young audiences.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like someone like my nephew who loves to play with cars and trucks
My
and tractors.
nephew freaking loves Cars.
Exactly.
Cars 2, Cars 3, everything is cars.
Do you
Lightning
think he's
McQueen.
thinking, oh man, where are the humans at? Why aren't there humans in the
He doesn't give a
movie?"
shit.
No, they're just fun cars.
He's like, cool, that's real. Cars can talk.
Simple as that. But here's where they really get weird because, again, we're going to read verbatim because this shit's good. All in All Corporation was using green energy as a catalyst for a fuel war in order to turn cars away from alternative energy sources. That clean fuel could have been used to swiftly wipe out many of the cars. All in All was run by B&L, which eventually pollute the whole world due to its use of oil. The whole world becomes unfit to sustain life.
Cue Wall-E. So how far ahead do we jump?
So
Going
Wall-E,
from Cars 2 to Wall-E.
well, Cars is 2100, 2200. Wall-E goes to 2800.
So we're jumping like
2900.
600 years.
How do you say? Is that how you say that year?
2,800, 2,900.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be around for that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, we're long gone.
This is getting really hard to read. Look, like you see how much he has to write just to like justify his points.
I wish we could just do an ebook of us just reading verbatim what this says. This would be so entertaining.
Oh my god. So, Wall-E's the only machine left on Earth after Earth ran out of resources. He survived because he's fascinated with human culture, and he has this friendship with that cute little cockroach who helps maintain his personality and fulfillment. Robots and machines on Axiom show that machines can develop a sense of purpose out of their human dependence on them. Wall-E is a robot Jesus, and he and his love, the appropriately named Eve,
Adam and Eve.
Get it?
Wall-E and
Save
Eve.
the human race and start a new beginning on Earth. During the credits of Wall-E, we see that the shoe that contains the last of plant life, it grows into a mighty tree. Again, Disney Pixar is focused on sustainability and the environment. This movie is to talk about pollution and people trashing the world, and that if we clean things up and get rid of the pollution, that life grows and that it's beautiful again. Simple as that.
Also, is her name Eve or Eva?
I thought it was Eva.
I thought it was Eva as well.
I thought it was Eve, and he just pronounced it as Eva.
Oh, did because I'm always like
Eva.
Eva. Eva.
Oh, he's such a cute little
He
guy.
is so cute.
That's why animals are gone, because cute little Wallies came out.
Just referring to Wall-E as a robot Jesus is hilarious in and of itself, and this theory won me over a little bit with just that.
Yeah.
So,
Now
robot Jesus.
we
Wall-E.
continue on to the fun movie, which is actually one of my favorites as a kid, A Bug's Life.
Okay, so they're saying A Bug's Life takes place between 2,898 and the year 3000.
I really would just want to call out the preciseness of 2,898 as the year.
Mm-hmm. Also, first of all, we're that far in the future. Are like the ants and the plant life and like the general like that's still a thing? This is still a thing? Like ants are unchanged? They haven't evolved at all?
Yeah, so...
None of the bugs have? They all just...
No, they have evolved. Because typically ants die after about 3 months. However, in A Bug's Life, some of them are very old, one up to 90 years old, the grandmother ant. So they're saying about how they've evolved. And
Maybe
now have
when they're
lifelong...
saying they age rapidly, and when they're like, oh, I feel like 90 again, they're really just like, 2.5 months old.
Yeah.
But that's 90 to them.
Exactly.
Just a thought. I don't know. Something
I
to
think
chew
that's
on.
a really valid thought. And here's the other thing. They're saying that the tree in A Bug's Life is the little tree that was planted, the little plant that grew in WALL-E.
Okay.
You know, it's a tree. It's a tree. Does that mean the tree in Animal Kingdom? Does that one evolve
I was
as well
gonna
from
say,
this?
can we prove that it's the tree?
Well, let's see. Looking at the evidence here, I see nothing about that. But there is evidence that says insects live in the future, are behaving like humans, and they have cities, bars, traveling circuses, and they wear clothes.
I don't think ants are going to wear clothes. No matter what shit goes down in this world, ants are not going to wear clothes.
No. Little tidbit of perspective from me again. A Bug's Life. It is taking bugs as if they were humans.
It's personifying bugs
Exactly.
and insects.
Beautifully worded.
Insects.
And that's all the movie is, guys. That's A Bug's Life.
People are reaching here.
They're really
reaching.
Really reaching.
Later in the distant future, animals start evolving into the dominant species. Animals were the dominant species for millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of years.
And these ants almost die like 5 times in the movie from raindrops. So I just want to clarify again that these aren't becoming a dominant species. They're still clearly ants.
If they say so, so an ant tells Flick not to leave the island they're on because there are snakes, birds, and bigger bugs out there. They do not mention humans because there are very few humans to make it dangerous enough for the insects to worry about. Maybe insects don't know humans are humans, and they're like, oh, there's bigger bugs. They just think we're bigger bugs.
Well, not
Did we
that.
think about that?
I mean, look at the backyard.
I'm
You know how
looking
many
at
bugs
it.
are in that yard?
A lot.
Probably a lot. And I imagine the bugs in the back corner of that yard may never know that you're here.
Yeah.
I just think that's a fact. And so if those bugs happen to be in a meadow or a field somewhere,
On an island, like you said, don't leave the island.
possibly an island, they're not going to see humans. And again, there is human at the end of that movie, I believe, because there is a trailer, camper, and the Pizza Planet truck is there, so the pizza delivery guy is in that thing in a Bug's
I
Life.
think this theory
There's
just
the
got
bug zapper
busted.
joke.
And there's a bug zapper, yeah.
Yeah, where did that shit come from?
Where did they get
There's no
electricity?
humans, but there's bug zappers,
Yeah.
and there's pizza trucks.
No, there are humans. Here's the thing. If I were this theory
Busted.
guy, that's where I would have tried to make my freaking correlation, is that, the pizza truck driver from Pizza Planet is in the Bug's Life, so those worlds collide.
No. That doesn't fit his narrative.
No, the bugs
His
are
or her narrative
evolving
does
into
not fit.
humans.
So later in the distant future, animals start evolving into the dominant species. Here we go.
So now we're gonna
animals.
jump.
We're jumping. We're saying animals. Animals are the dominant species, and now we're jumping to monsters.
At year 4,500 to 5,000. So
Hundreds of years after WALL-E,
the ants are now monsters, apparently.
animals started changing due to radiation caused by being out. There's still that much radiation. 2,000 years later.
Ready for this one? Monsters University was founded in 1313. This is dated using the Monsters calendar, not the human calendar, and shows that it took place almost 1,400 years after Bug's Life.
What? First of all,
Yeah.
how do they know that 1313 isn't just, 1313 BC or AD, sorry.
And again, oh my god, this is so embarrassing for this guy.
This is so poorly
Obviously,
connected.
they're not going to use a human calendar because they're in the monster world. They are in a whole nother side than the
They're
humans.
monsters. They're not animals. They live in a totally other dimension from humans and animals. They're monsters. They are not the same thing.
There are different countries in this world that us humans use different calendars.
It says at Monsters University, they falsely taught the monsters that humans were toxic and from another dimension. That's not false. That's actually how it is, in the movie.
Yeah.
They're in another dimension. That's why they have all those doors.
Yes.
That's because they're in a different dimension. This is,
Apparently, it's because monsters were worried about being erased from the existence and altering history.
Why are they...
Yeah. But here's the thing. I guess that can kind of make sense from the perspective of Monsters University took place before Monsters, Inc. In Monsters, Inc., they found out that laughs also created energy, not just fear. So so at this time, they thought that they still need to be scary monsters. Why they weren't looking into alternative energy sources at that point, I
They
don't
just
know.
weren't progressive enough.
Or go
at
back
that
to
time.
WALL-E and use that all-in-all solution.
Right.
That was eco-friendly, apparently. But, so Monsters University happened, and then we skip ahead
To
to
Monsters, Inc.
So the monsters and machines didn't realize their mistakes of getting rid of humans until it was too late. Eventually realized that humans were their only source of energy needed to sustain life. So machines helped solve that problem by letting monsters use doors to travel time to the human generations.
This leads us to Boo. Okay, but if humans are gone on another planet,
No, not. They're not another planet. They're just time traveling.
so this is where this theory ends. At least on this website. I mean, clearly a bunch of Pixar movies are missing, but holy hell, is this full of holes and
Oh, we're
is
not
it
done.
confusing?
Because now we get to Boo.
Oh, here's Boo. So Boo is like her own. Wait, whoa.
Oh.
This all leads back to Boo.
Get ready.
Oh
ready.
my God! Yeah, let's dive
So-
into this.
Boo never got over Solly and became obsessed with finding out what happens to him.
Shut.
Remembering that doors are the key to finding Solly. Later in life, she figured out how to time travel, goes back to the source of all magic, the will o' the wisps,
From Brave.
creates magic to find Solly by using wood. Boo leaves evidence behind in Brave. 2 carvings whittled out of wood. They were Solly and a pizza truck. The 2 things she loved most in life.
Or maybe just Easter eggs to
Again.
Toy Story and Monsters, Inc.
Thank you. Although she knows how to travel through time, she does not know how to determine what time period she will go to. Therefore, speculation has it that Boo is the one planting the Easter eggs throughout all the Pixar movies because she has been accidentally going through different time periods.
Oh my God. Okay, so it says...
no, you scrolled to the bottom, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
There we go.
So it says, Boo discovered that wood was the source of energy all along. So in Monsters, Inc., they use doors made of wood because it has the energy to travel in time. How do we know that it's wood that does this? Is that a thing? I don't know.
Again, they had all different kinds of doors.
There
There was even metal doors.
The wood from A Bug's Life is the source of Flick's ingenuity. That tree from A Bug's Life bears a resemblance to the one in Up that Carl and Ellie often visited. This tree was the source of Carl's wild idea of balloons transporting his house. No! I thought the tree in, what's it called? A Bug's Life was the tree from WALL-E. So how did Carl and Ellie get to see that damn tree?
Exactly.
What's happening here? Come on.
Exactly.
Then it says, why did the witch, a.k.a. Boo, turn Queen Eleanor into a bear in Brave? And it says, this was Boo's failed attempt at bringing Sully back. The bear somewhat resembles Sully because it's large and furry. Like, I don't get that at all.
They spent way too much money on this
How did
website.
Flick and Heimlich from A Bug's Life show up in Toy Story 2? Because they are fucking bugs.
No.
They're fucking bugs.
Nope.
And they live in the human world.
False.
And, ooh, they saw them.
Wrong. They actually time traveled, Brooke.
Oh my God. I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my God, that's what it says. It says the reason Flick and Heimlich are in Toy Story 2 is because they time traveled. They time traveled. So where in A Bug's Life, portion of this timeline did it say that the bugs had the ability to time travel?
Never.
Where did they
Flick
get this-
was a little bit of an inventor, so maybe he created
His
that
ingenuity
in
with
Bugs
the
Life
wood.
2 that was
It
never
was the
there.
wood from the tree from WALL-E that really wasn't the tree from WALL-E, but it was the tree that Carly and Ellie visited that they wanted to go isolate themselves from the uprising of the toys. That's why they, sent Andy that letter. This is so fucking ridiculous.
Well, so again, the answer to this is still a suggestion because we have Boo tried to go to the future and could have fallen into the WALL-E time period and kept traveling, stumbling upon the tree in A Bug's Life and could have brought back a few bugs with her.
Wait, where is that?
How did Flick and Heimlich from A Bug's Life show up in Toy Story 2?
Oh, is that what it says?
Mm-hmm.
Boo tried to go to the... Oh my God. What?
So it's the witch?
Boo is the witch.
Yes.
Ooh, now
Like-
it all makes sense.
Now it kind of does. Look at that.
I think that there's like a cool concept, but this person's narrative ruins the entire concept. Like, if you just pitch to me, oh, all of the Cars movies take place during the same timeline as WALL-E, and that's why there's no people, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, I can...
Fine.
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 But it's like, once you tie it into, like, the giant war between technology and dogs, it's just, like, loses everything.
It's the way they try to connect it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. That is the official Pixar theory, and that is us going through it. Now, aside from all that garbage, I could see connections between movies and being in that shared universe.
Absolutely. There can be connections between certain movies. Like, obviously, Toy Story and A Bug's Life. Big example there.
Oh my
You
God,
have the Easter egg. You see Flick and Heimlich. That can absolutely be going on at the same time. You see the pizza truck.
Yeah.
That's clearly the same
That
universe.
could be the same town.
Yeah.
And they came out
same
around each other.
universe, same timeline, things are happening
Yeah.
in the same realm. I'm
And
forgetting
that's
that
another
word though.
thing. In this theory, he talks about how in the Bug's Life there's no humans. But there's literally the pizza truck driver for Pizza Planet. So not only do we know that there's at least one human with a Pizza Planet truck, we know he has electricity, so he can pay his bills or find some kind of energy source.
There's
which means
bug
he's probably-
zappers. There's electricity.
Yeah, he's probably still working for Pizza Planet, which tells me that Pizza Planet is still in business, which means that there are people that are going to Pizza Planet.
So I definitely think A Bug's Life and Toy Story is like they're on the same timeline.
Yes.
But all the rest of this nonsense,
Not so much.
not exactly.
No, because here's the thing. Do you think the people that created Brave in the last few years
They're like, you know what? We
were
got
around
Boo,
in the mid
Boo
'90s
is
and
a
we're like,
witch.
you know what? We're gonna do in 20 years. We're gonna give these guys a
Yeah.
common link.
I want to talk to someone at Pixar, and I just want to be like, is this true? Are they all connected, or is it just some films,
Yeah.
or are they just Easter eggs?
Or are they just Easter eggs, and then what we see is just common styling? You know, like they talked about how in Finding Nemo, I was doing some research, and in Finding Nemo, you know, when they're at the dentist office, there are some pictures drawn up on the wall, and they're the exact same photos that are in drawings that are in Boo's bedroom. And you know what I picture?
Is Boo Australian?
No. You know what I picture, though? I imagine the person at Pixar building out the room for Finding Nemo and was like, let me check my asset folder. I need
Yeah,
kids
they
drawings.
reuse stuff all the time.
That's all it is. Oh, here's 10 kids' drawings. Cute. It'll be an Easter egg, too. Let me throw them on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
So Jenny sent us this, right? She emailed us. I want to know what Jenny thinks about all this. Does she buy the theory? Is the theory that she read and like bought into different from this one? If so, like where? Honestly, does she buy into it? Because she said she was interested. It doesn't necessarily mean she buys into it. I want someone to convince me or to explain to me like where there could be more connections that I'm missing.
So, to answer one of your questions,
Oh?
a few of the Pixar directors have spoken about this.
Oh,
theory.
let me hear it.
So, speaking in an informal 2013 interview, Cars
Informal.
franchise guardian Jay Ward rejected the idea that the films take place in the same universe,
Guys.
saying it's almost like a September 11th conspiracy theory. It's like, really? No, the movies are just sort of made in a different order by different directors in different times in different places. It's cool that it all worked out that way, but it was probably not intentional. And then in the 2015 D23 Expo, during the Pixar Secrets Revealed panel, director Mark Andrews also rejected the theory, and the Inside Out co-director said, "Do you know what kind of meetings we would have to have in order to make sure that all of these movies linked up like this?"
Exactly.
Like,
Guys,
it's taken them
why
4
are we
years to
still
figure out
doing this?
Mulan. You think they're coming up with a fucking shared universe for 20 plus
Yeah,
movies?
they just
that then
took all the
incorporate every
songs
movie?
out of live action Mulan, and you think they're going to be like, we've got to, Boo is the witch from Brave. We got to connect all their shit. The machines are uprising, but then they're going to go against the animals and not the humans. What? Stop it. Stop
Yeah.
reaching. Stop trying to make something out of nothing. Read some a Game of Thrones books and then come up with your theories there.
Yeah.
You can have more fun.
Let Pixar be Pixar.
Yeah.
Also, it says that the creator of this theory got the original idea from a video from Crack.com, which is a comedy website that makes
It was
fun
Daniel
of...
O'Brien.
Good Lord.
Yeah, making fun of, like, obsessive pop culture people.
Yeah.
That
You know what?
Dude, really? It came from cracked.com. Are you kidding me? And someone was like, yeah, you know what? Makes sense.
It's literally like an Onion article came out and went viral.
And people believed it and tried to make it like legitimate. No. What?
Well, John Negroni, good on you for the money you may have made for this. Good on you.
I hope he didn't make a dime. This is crazy. None of it makes sense. I don't even want to talk about the theories I read. All right, guys, that was our Disney Pixar Shared Universe Theory episode. Please email us your thoughts. What movies were missed? Do you think there are any connections? There's not. But if you believe there is, convince us. If you have any other topics you'd like us to discuss, like Jenny had, email us at DisNeatoPodcast@gmail.com or interact with us on our Facebook page. It's called DisNeatos.
Next week, we'll be talking all about Disney news and the latest and greatest things that we have found through our resources. So stay tuned, get ready, and we look forward to you listening.
See you next Tuesday.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.